You are listening to the ADHD Support Talk Radio podcast. ADHD Support Talk Radio is sponsored by ADDclasses.com. Sign up now for a free webinar at www.addclasses.com. And this is your co-host, Tara McGillicuddy. With that, I would like to welcome back Terry Matlen to ADHD Support Talk Radio. In just a moment, Terry and I are going to be having an interesting and much-needed discussion about finances, money, and treating and managing ADHD. But before we get started, Terry, can you let our listeners know a bit about yourself? Who are you in relationship to helping people affected by ADD and ADHD? And also, how can they get in touch with you after the show has aired?
Sure. First, I want to thank you for inviting me on your show, Tara. It's always fun to talk with you and your listeners. I'm Terry Matlen, and I'm a psychotherapist, a consultant, a writer, and a coach, and I specialize in working with adults with ADHD. I'm the founder and director of ADDConsults.com and also at queenofdistractions.com, which is an online group coaching program for women with ADHD. So like you, I do most of my work online, and I can be reached either via my two websites or by email at Terry, Terry, at ADDConsult.com.
Great. And Terry, you have a new book coming out, don't you?
Yeah, I'm really excited. October 1st, 2014, The Queen of Distraction, which is funny because that's sort of what my husband has been calling me for the last zillion years, is a book for women with ADHD. It follows my first book, which came out in 2005, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Which is Survival Tips for Women with ADHD. So you can see I have a focus and interest in helping women with ADHD.
Great. I can't wait to read that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I invited you on the show because you and I have collaborated together for years. I mean, we've known each other for over a decade now. And we work, our passion is to help people with ADD and ADHD, but we also make a living from it. We earn money from helping people with ADHD. I mean, you and I have had so many discussions over the years. We understand that people with ADHD have a lot of trouble with financial issues. So, I mean, we've worked together, we've done programs, we've offered free resources, to help people, offer programs that are, more affordable than most. I mean, because you and I were talking about coaching and other programs, how even you and I, who are successful, I think, adults, and, we had trouble affording some of those programs, so we've offered different programs. But I think one thing that you and I have come to learn and that we keep getting bombarded with is that no matter how low the price, we seem to be getting people, or not seem, we are getting people that are just kind of sending us nasty emails and telling us they can't afford it and we shouldn't be charging for it. So I thought instead of me sending, getting all upset and sending emotional emails back to these people or just, being upset, that maybe it's a good idea to discuss this on the show. And you and I, because we've been doing it so long and we're ADHD experts, I thought we'd be the perfect people to discuss this.
I think that's a really great topic, Tara. We have talked about this for many years, and we have both spent much of our professional careers offering services online for either no cost or very low cost, because we both do understand that many adults do struggle financially because often from their ADHD-related issues and can't seem to afford a lot of the services that are out there. But I am struck by the fact that you brought up that even with very low fee cost services, people still seem to say that even that is too much for them to afford. And I think that that's true in a lot of cases, but I think in other cases, many cases, that may not be quite the truth. So I think it's worth pursuing and exploring on this show.
I think one reason is because you and I, we understand ADHD so well, and sometimes I know I forget the basics, that somebody new to ADHD doesn't understand the basics. Like, for example, I'll talk about the importance of self-care or having fun, how important that is to addressing and managing ADHD, and a lot of people just aren't aware of that. Oh, what do you mean I need to go out and have fun? I mean, that's something, or de-stress. and that's something that I keep reminding people or making them aware of. So I'm like, I think another thing that a lot of people may not be aware of, that in order to effectively treat and manage your ADHD, your child or your child's ADHD, you need to budget or allot or, realize that treating ADHD effectively costs money. I mean, we live in the real world. I mean, we have to pay for food, we have to pay for haircuts. I mean, all the basic necessities to eat, sleep, and, breathe. I don't know if you have to pay to breathe, but everything else, it requires money. And to effectively treat ADHD, I think people just really need to be aware that some money has to be designated to this.
I agree, and I think that people are willing to pay money for certain things. Of course, the things that you brought up that are necessities. But I think there is this mentality or this thought that certain things are seen as a luxury when in reality, if you have ADHD, they are not a luxury, they're a necessity, and that is getting support, getting help for your ADHD. And as we're talking, it dawned on me that there might be another piece to this that we're not looking at, and that could be self-esteem issues, that maybe adults with ADD who know they need the help of a coach or a therapist or whatever are saying to themselves, I'm not worth it. We see a lot of poor self-esteem in adults and children with ADHD, and maybe this is part of the picture that we're not understanding that this is not about self-esteem, this is about surviving.
Yep.
And
I think shame, especially for women with ADHD, can really play a lot into it. Yeah. That I know I was talking to somebody recently about it, is we'll say we don't have the money, or that's, I don't know if an excuse is the correct term, but a lot of times, people, especially women, when it comes to hiring somebody to come in and help them clean the house or get rid of the clutter or organize, or there's a lot of shame involved that, okay, I should be able to do it, or the house has gotten so bad. In money, it's almost like that's the default reason for not doing it, too. I think that's part of it. And then you get that mindset. So a program, comes out there, you're already in that mindset of, I can't spend money, I'm not going to spend money, and now they're going to get angry at you and me for charging, $25 a month for a program.
Right. I think that's a really good point. The shame, especially for women, is a huge issue. And women are more likely to say, well, I'm not going to put myself out there. I should be able to organize my house. I should be able to get dinner on the table. All those sorts of things that women without ADHD find it's easier for them to do. So I think shame is a huge piece, and I think the self-esteem, because women men and women who have grown up with untreated, undiagnosed ADHD typically have self-esteem issues. So the thought might be, well, why, am I worth spending $25 a month to get this kind of help? Well, in reality, if you go outside of the Internet where you and I work, the cost of getting help is much, much higher than what these online services that we offer are, charging.
Yeah, I think that people don't think they're worth it, or that they're supposed to get help. I mean, it's just, I think people were programmed that we're supposed to do everything by ourselves. I mean, think back to school. I'm in my 40s, I think you're in your 50s, and when we went to school, we didn't really have that collaborative learning where you did most groups. If you worked with somebody else, that was cheating. So I think a lot of times we have that mindset that we're supposed to do it ourselves, and then, I think that's really a big thing is, a lot of us, and I can relate to it too. There are times where it's like, oh, maybe I'll hire someone to do this, or maybe I'll sign up for a program, and it's like, no, I don't have the money. But it's like, no, maybe there's more to it. And I think that's the interesting thing is I can relate to this. I usually don't send people like irate emails that I just, say, I'm choosing not to spend my money on this. I'm choosing to spend it on something else at the moment.
Yeah. And we talked, too, about whether for some people maybe they're not ready to take the plunge and get help online. Maybe some people are not comfortable yet with being online, although nowadays it seems like, there's tons and tons of things going on that people are going to. I know you and I both have had Facebook pages or
Mm-hmm.
websites where there's no fee attached, and
Yes.
people are just, we have huge numbers of people going to those sites. But there is this mentality of, well, maybe if it's online I shouldn't have to pay for it. But the sites that are free often don't give the amount of help that people are looking for from professionals who've been in the field for as long as you and I have been in.
Well, I know in ADD classes we offer the free teleseminars, which are 60-minute audio classes. And because when I first started doing them, like almost 10 years ago, only the live one was free, and then things happen. Everyone wants everything on demand now, so I do a free 1-week replay where they can listen to it from the site. In 1 week, there are other people they offer a 24-hour replay and stuff. So, but I still get people complaining that they missed it, or But I think people are expecting a lot of free stuff, because there are some free stuff, because I think I do want everyone to have access to it, but if people can't set up a reminder to listen to it, then you can spend a small fee to get the archive of it. And I think years ago when we first started online, the internet was all about connecting with people, and there weren't as many online services or online businesses, but now I think there are a lot of services online.
But I think you have to be careful, because there's a lot of support online, but there are very few that are led by ADHD experts.
Yes.
So it's great that people have the option to go to peer-led groups or support groups or whatever, but there are very few sites that have people like you or like me that are running it and overseeing it and really reaching out and helping people at very low fees, because I think both of us have our hearts in really wanting to help. We really want to help people and make it affordable to just about anybody.
And so I think your priorities where you're spending money is another issue. I just recently, in the past week, talked to 2 different friends. I don't think they have ADHD, but they were both complaining they wanted to do this, they wanted to do that. They have no money. And one of them, I shared the fact that I had recently canceled my cable a few months ago, and the person says to me, well, I can't cancel mine, I watch sports. And I'm thinking, okay, I just kind of blew it off. I'm like, I'm not going to argue with this person, this is what he's choosing. But basically what you're saying, is you're not going to cancel cable. It's more important for you to sit around and watch somebody chase a ball around, than to change your life and get mental health help or, get whatever. And then another friend of mine, who was the same type of thing, she's like, I want to do this, but everything costs money. And I'm like, yeah, but you and I went out to dinner last night for dinner and drinks, and you spent $50. So, it's where you're putting your priorities. And I think just making people aware and reminding them, whether it's ADHD or it's some other issue, that, taking care of yourself is more important, and I honestly believe it should be a priority over cable television or going out for dinner and drinks, and to really become aware of that and to think of yourself, and getting back to the self-esteem issue, just telling yourself, I'm worth it.
Right, I'm worth it, and I'd rather put that money that I'm spending on drinks or Netflix or movies or whatever into a program that I can get tangible return for the money I'm putting in, because your programs, my programs, people grow and change and get the help that they really desperately need, because there's not a whole lot of real help in the real world outside of, online. I'm talking about groups where you would go to. There aren't many real support groups out there for adults with ADHD. There aren't even a lot of clinicians who understand adult ADHD. So it's, I think, a huge thing that these programs we have are available and at very low cost. So, I'm a little puzzled, too, why it's so difficult. And I'm not underplaying the fact that there are people who cannot afford. They're barely getting food on the table. I understand it, as you do, because we talked about this. But for others who could cut back and budget their money differently so that they can get the help, and I just wonder how much of that is self-esteem or shame or something else.
Well, I know. I was talking to you earlier about the fact that a couple of years back I started a scholarship program for the classes, at ADD classes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to be able to choose. And I was amazed that the number of people who didn't follow the directions. They have to write a certain amount, they have to answer 2 questions, And like, I understand ADHD. I put it on there multiple times. This is a requirement. I even put on there, if you don't follow directions, your application will not be considered. And it's multiple times, and it's not that long of a page. And like, I was just shocked at it. Like, there were months that, you know, I said I was giving away 3 scholarships, and I couldn't because the people didn't follow directions or would just say, I have ADD, give me a scholarship type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, and I think, I don't know what that is, too. I mean, I don't like to write. And the reason I actually started giving the scholarship is because there was a program I wanted to go to. It was like local program, and I'm like, didn't have the money, and somebody told me there was a scholarship, and I'm like, I'm not going to get the scholarship, and I ended up getting it. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give back to the community. I'm going to do a scholarship program for the ADD classes programs. But it really shocked me that people just didn't follow the directions, and then would get mad at me when they didn't get it, or would expect that, okay, I should get the scholarship, and it's, no, but I don't know. That's the thing. There's so much help out there that you and I, and there's other people that offer it too, but I think you and I are really, we've gone out of our way to provide accessible and I think more affordable than anyone else out there. I mean, your Queens with ADHD program, I honestly have never seen anything, I haven't seen anything, you know, that low of a cost out there.
No, as a matter of fact, the Queens of Distraction, it's at queensofdistraction.com. I'm offering an end of summer special. Here's an example. And the fee is so low because I really, truly want people to be able to get the help they need because I know how hard it is to find help. The cost right now of joining my group is less than what it would cost to buy a Starbucks coffee a day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's ridiculously low. And I'm not getting rich from what I'm doing there. It's more of I want to help because you and I, for years, have done a lot of nonprofit work, working on committees, offering this, offering that because of our passion for what we do. Even so, I'm getting a barrage of emails from people who say, I can't afford, you know, right now it's like just over, $2 a day that it's costing to join my group. And to be a part of my group means, you know, I'm there helping them.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what the mentality is. Maybe it's just a misunderstanding that, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, and then the thing is, like, you and I have run programs together, and I remember there was one program that I think it was $27 a month, and we were feeling bad because nobody was using it. Yeah. But that's the thing. When you offer a program or service that's a low price, people aren't paying enough money to use it. You know, $27 a month for a lot of people, it's not enough to cancel it and use it. You know, so it's kind of like the gym membership where you pay $10 a month and you have it for 5 years and never go. And you know, it's not that much of money out of your checkbook or your credit card that you're going to cancel it or use it. But I mean, that's the thing that we found, and I'm like, we're like, we sent out reminders, we did this, we did that. So I think that's the thing too. When you try to offer a service that is more affordable, you get people that don't value it because it's so low. So it's like, I know you can't please everybody. No. You're never going to please 100% of the people, but you and I are very dedicated and we care about it and we want to help people, and I think it's just I think this is why it's important that we did the show, to let people know that it's important to designate some money, whether it's our services or somebody else's services, to treating and managing your ADHD effectively.
Yes, you know, looking at your budget and saying, well, I could make cuts here, but the other thought I have before we end is there are people out there in the field who are fairly new, and people are paying to go to their classes or whatever it is that they're offering, yet they might not have as strong of a handle on ADHD as we do because we've been pioneers in the field. It's not a bragging thing, but it's a reality. We've been doing this for many, many years before really anybody else was doing it online. And with your background and my background, I think we do have a lot to offer. So it worries me that people might fall into something that may look a little glitzier or exciting. You know, we're people with ADHD, and both of us have ADHD, so we understand that glitter attraction of something new, and it's an impulsive act sometimes, or it's that the glitter. So my concern is, falling into a trap of working with someone who may not have the skills and and the passion and just the experience that we carry.
Yeah, I think that's important to research whoever you're paying money to. Even if you're just joining a group and it's free, research that person, because they could be giving you free advice that could damage you. So I think be very careful. And you and I are experts. Ask anyone online. They've known us for over a decade, and they'll give us recommendations or say, I know they're experts. I think that's just to really be careful who you work with and who you trust out there.
Right, and you said it just a minute ago. Even if it's a free group, even if it's some free online support group, carefully research who's running it, what their experience is. Be careful out there. It is like anything else. You have to really research and know what you're getting yourself into. Yeah. And I think we have a good track record that we have names in the community that go back. Our history goes back many years, and so proceed with caution if you don't know who you're working with.
Yes. All right. So we are actually at the end of today's show. Do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to leave people with, and can you give out your contact information once again, Terry?
Sure, thanks, Tara. I guess I would say that things have changed that what you find online, if it's free, it may be worth, what you're getting what you're, how does that saying go, you get what you pay for.
Yep.
But that there are great resources online that no longer are, all online resources free, that there are very solid, good programs, and I hope that people will take a second look and put aside money to get the help they need, because there is so little out there in the real world, let alone the Internet, where you can get good help by people who have been in the field for many years like you and I. So I hope that people will reconsider, when they see a program that looks like it could help them, and think of, at least give it a try, because both you and I have options of, not renewing or not continuing a program if it's not the right fit for them, or if it is a financial burden, but at least give it a try.
Yep.
So to get a hold of me, you can either go to my websites at addconsults.com or Queens with an S at the end, queensofdistraction.com. That's my online group coaching program for women with ADHD, or just simply email me at Terry, Terry, at addconsults.com.
Thank you so much, Terry Matlen, and thank you, everybody, for listening. And if you are listening to us on iTunes or Stitcher, be sure to stop by our website at ADHDsupporttalk.com, where you will find links to my sites and our guest sites. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day.